Speaker.
Order.
Item 1, resumption of debate on the Protection from Online Falsehoods and Manipulation Bill, second reading.
Mr. Melvin, Yong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, much has been discussed yesterday and today, and the debate seems to dwell, in my view, disproportionately on freedom of speech and silencing of the government's critics. I would like to go back to why we are having this bill. Online falsehood can lead to very serious law and order concerns in a very short time. This is because purveyors of falsehoods prey on our societal fault lines, such as race and religion, in order to exploit social media algorithms, draw eyeballs, and go viral. Around the world, we have seen a pattern of falsehoods proliferating in the wake of serious public order incidents. These falsehoods seek to exacerbate social divisions, and various examples have been cited in this House by several members. Mr. Speaker, Singapore is not exempt from fake news too. Clearly, we need speedy, targeted tools. In some other countries, the lack of these tools has led the government to resort to disproportionate measures. We saw this in Sri Lanka, where in the immediate aftermath of the Easter Sunday bombings, the Sri Lankan government moved to ban various social media sites, including Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, among others, to preempt divisive misinformation. The ban was only lifted 1 week later. While I support the bill, I would like to highlight some ground concerns and also to seek some clarifications from the Minister. The key recommendation by the Select Committee was to disrupt online falsehoods by breaking the virality of the fake news and increase the reach of corrections. The bill has put in place clauses requiring online platforms to spread the corrections. While this is a good move, the key to making this work lies in its implementation. How fast must a correction be put up? Viral stories spread quickly. If the correction is put up too late, we risk having the correction just as a token measure, as the misinformation has already spread, and few, if any, will read the correction if it is put up too late. When it comes to increasing the reach of the corrections, social media sites must play their part. While the bill requires online platforms to help alert users to the correction, sites will need to review the way they manage the original post to raise awareness about the correction. One example is the share function on Facebook. I propose that following a correction, all shared posts be applied with a filter, similar to the violent content filter that we already have, to alert users that there is an attached correction to this particular news. This way, new readers can be made aware that the content contains certain falsehoods. Mr. Speaker, another important aspect to consider is that often the most convincing fake news are half-truths. Stories that are peppered with blatant false facts can be easily identified, but stories with just the right mix of facts and false statements can be hard to distinguish. And individuals do share these stories with their friends. The Minister has mentioned on more than one occasion that the bill does not make it an offence for a person who unwittingly shared an online falsehood. But there is still much confusion on the ground, especially among our more elderly residents. They are worried because some people are telling them that they will get into trouble with the new law. So they are worried, what if I forward something on WhatsApp to my friends? What if I shared something on Facebook or Instagram? Will I get into trouble? It is therefore important for the government and members of this House to continue reassuring the public on what happens if they are unwitting pawns of a purveyor of fake news. And I think the short answer is nothing happens. Mr. Speaker, since the first reading of the bill, there have been concerns about stifling freedom of speech and individual rights. Even in this debate, we have heard members of the Workers' Party that the bill will have a chilling effect on free speech. I'm therefore glad that the Minister has corrected these misconceptions. One, that the court will be the final arbiter of what is to be considered true or false. Two, that the bill only pertains to statements of facts, not opinions, not criticisms, nor satire. And three, that the bill is targeted at falsehoods that affect public interest. However, the definition of public interest under the bill is rather wide. While I acknowledge the need for the most workable version of defining public interest, such a wide definition could still be constantly challenged. Would the courts be the final arbiter of whether an issue is of public interest? Does the Minister foresee many legal challenges on this front? And what would be done to educate Singaporeans on what constitutes public interest? The government will also need to work together with the courts to put in place a simple and expeditious appeal process. How fast will it take for an appeal to reach the court? Will there be a fee imposed? Can a person seek a review of a correction direction without needing to engage a lawyer? These are all important operational concerns that need to be articulated to the public to assure Singaporeans that the exercise of powers under the proposed legislation is subjected to proper oversight by the courts. Mr. Speaker, the proposals in this bill are unique. The government's approach to countering fake news is different from other countries, and in my view, different in a positive way. Rather than requiring all originators of fake news to immediately take down the questionable content, which is what Germany has done, this bill focuses on ensuring that facts are stated accurately and that readers are aware of the inaccuracy on a timely basis. And I hope that through this, our society will grow to be more media literate over time. But media literacy cannot be achieved just from this bill alone. All levels of society will need to partner with one another to make this happen. Social media sites must recognize that they owe a responsibility to ensure that their content is factually accurate. But that in itself is a big challenge, as some of the existing models thrive on news virality. The public must also arm ourselves with the necessary skills to decipher between what is real and what is fake. The government has done much in recent months on public engagement, and I hope that such efforts continue unabated. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying that fake news is not a new phenomenon. History provides many examples of misinformation being used for malicious purposes. What is new is the advent of technologies that help to spread such fake news at a rate faster than ever before. This bill, therefore, provides us with new tools, new measures to fight against deliberate online falsehood and manipulation, things that aim to harm our society. The government must be able to take swift action. The government should have the powers to take swift action. Ministers with the domain expertise must be able to be in a position to speedily conclude whether a statement of fact is false and what course of action is in the public interest. Nothing stops the original author, nor the platform, nor anyone else from commenting on the original post, or the evidence provided by the minister, or the correction direction itself. If ministers cannot intervene early in a calibrated manner, falsehood can quickly erupt into violence, as we have seen in many other countries, which will then warrant more drastic measures for us to take. And when that happens, damage, some of which may be irreversible, would have been done. And that, to me, will indeed be chilling. Mr. Speaker, I support the bill.